Bro, you remember this? The Alexa swear jar. So you
I
leave
don't
the house for
remember
the
this,
day.
but I love this.
Alexa swear jar. So you leave the house for the day, and Alexa snitches on your kids when they swear. So you get back, and you're like, well, Johnny, did you say any bad words? And he's like, no, I swear I didn't.
Welcome back. It's season 2, episode 1 of IdeaDrop. And Dustin, we made it. We survived a year.
Dude, I'm actually pretty impressed with us. Let me look back really fast and give people an update. As you guys know, IdeaDrop is a podcast where we all pitch all our ideas. Well, Kendall and I pitch our ideas. I pitch mine. Kendall shits all over them. And then we find better businesses that we can do. And when we started this a year ago, I did not think it was going to work. I thought it was going to crash and burn. And we're here. And I'm really happy about it. I know. Did you know that I thought that at the beginning?
No, you're a decent salesman.
I don't think that's a compliment.
I was paying for it, so it was like you just got beer and pizza and a good time. All I
wanted to do was hang out. I was really okay with that. That's all I wanted to do. So
I thought it was going to work. So here we are.
What? It worked.
Yep. I would say I was hoping to get 20,000 Instagram followers, and apparently we got 30,000 TikTok followers, and Instagram sucks. And so
I think we're at 35,
I was wrong.
My friend.
Good.
Yeah.
Whatever. I want to move to YouTube because long term, China and all that. What do you think about this whole? Okay, so let's say China really is
stealing
able to do whatever it wants with users' data from what it collects on TikTok of America. Do you think that is a good reason to shut her down from America's perspective?
It is a good reason for you to shut it down. It is a good reason for your children to get off of it, but it is not a good reason to prohibit a business from doing business in America because you don't like their practices. Right. I'm a little bit more of a free market guy in that sense. Yep. I don't think that what they're doing is a good thing, not at all. But I also don't think that what they're doing is only them doing it. Like everybody's doing it. They're just doing it better.
I'm with you. So I kind of think about it like, all right, we want regulated capitalism, but we don't want precedents that make it easy for the people in political power to kind of have a slippery slope in whatever they want to do for every time a platform gets big or whatever. So I hate that side of it. So it's kind of like in California, you see those cancer warnings at a Starbucks. I don't really mind that like California went hog wild on like, hey, warning, coffee has things that might give you cancer. And then we're like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to do it anyways. So I feel like that, like maybe they put a warning, China might be taking your data off of this app. Use at your own risk. It's like a sign at a beach that says, maybe you shouldn't dive here.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So I'm a big believer in the cocaine should be legal. All the drugs really should be legal, but I think it's illegal to distribute it, right? So consumption. So that's okay. You figure out how to do it, and then it's illegal to be the guy who's like passing out and peddling all these terrible, terrible things. So I do think it should be, that's a tough one. So in that analogy, we would be legal to consume TikTok, but it's probably not wise, right? But not distribute it, not be the actual owner of all the information. Now, what are they doing with the information? It's basically just helping them get better sales and better and better and better sales, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't know. That's what the senators and House representatives think.
Dude, have you seen that interview where they interview Mark Zuckerberg in like
I don't pay attention
to the House?
To news.
It's hilarious. They're literally like, so how does the internet work? And Mark Zuckerberg is sitting there like, wait, how does the internet work? Like, this is a big, how do you want me to explain this to you? Like, they have no clue. They are dumb.
Explain it to me like I'm 5. No, explain it to me like I'm 4.
So how does Facebook make money? Well, we sell advertising on Facebook, and people visit the. But are you selling the information? No, we are selling apps. It's like they had no grit. It's hilarious. So I don't really trust Congress or any of them to really know exactly what TikTok's doing. So it's kind of tough on there.
Okay, well, here's what we're gonna do today. Dustin and I both came with a list, and it's basically season 2 did it season well. So we both have our little select list here. Some of these might be terrible. Some of them might be great. They're really the things that were on our mind from the last however many recordings. I mean, we probably did 50 or so. I don't know if they all got released. Some of them got trashed.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the first couple months, it was touch and go there. But I'll start, and let's figure out if some of these, we've had some time to sleep on it. Are these good businesses that someone should do?
Dude, can you pitch them to me like you're really pitching it to me? I want to be sold because I haven't heard these ideas in a year or however long it's been.
Sure. So this is from Chris Huffman. People can easily go get an RV. You negotiate down the price of an RV. Take your whole family on the road, right? You need cash for the RV, and you need a little bit of side cash for this trip. Okay. But you're going to flip the RV in a different state once you get there. But while you're touring the world with your family or America with your family, you're going to go and hit up places that you find where used books are for sale and sell them for a profit on Amazon and get your kids involved in it. Chris did this.
Okay, wow.
Chris did this. Remember Chris actually loaded up his 3 kids.
He is probably, in terms of entrepreneurs, he's the truest entrepreneur I know.
The truest one.
Yeah, he really is.
And so they not only did they flip it for a profit at the end, so I think they made like $5 or $7 grand on the RV itself, which paid for all their gas, right? This was a good time. And the books, I feel like when I last heard, it was like 20 or 30 grand of margin by the end of the trip that they had made. And the primary place, so this is like you go hit up Goodwill or you go find yard sales, right? But you're going, the road is your oyster. You get to just search the internet and be like, cool, we're going to we're going to Reno. Apparently there's a storage unit of books in Reno.
Did his kids love it? Because I think that would be like the fringe benefit. It would be a fun family activity.
I think we don't know if it's successful or failure until we interview the kids. So I have no idea. They could have hated it.
Think about it. Like you're taking up space in this RV, which if you have a family in there, space is precious, right? So the kids got to be in on the hobby. Otherwise, they're just going to be like, Dad, why the hell are there 15 dictionaries here? I don't want this,
A lot of times what they would do is they would box them up and ship them in big boxes, slow freight to their final destination, and then or straight into an Amazon ready to go warehouse, whatever they call that, right? So the Amazon has that all fulfilled by Amazon, so it goes to their warehouse. It just sits there. Anyways, that was that hits my family.
Okay, I like that idea. I think it's a good business idea. My wife and I love traveling. I could see us doing something like that just for the heck of it. I know a lot of people who are obsessed with the van lifestyle. I'm not into the van lifestyle. I'm more into the fly and get a hotel lifestyle. But if you wanted to do that, this is how you do that. I think it would work. I mean, it did work. It obviously works.
He found a poker book that I think he sold. Well, I forget what he said. Sold it for $50-$60, but there was $100 bill in the poker book. Somebody was using $100 bill in the poker book for the bookmark.
That's
little nuggets along the way. Okay,
that is nice.
Okay, this is one people shit all over on TikTok. I remember, but I think it's still a freaking good idea to go find a landlord in your city, negotiate a lease, and get rid of the clause. It's a negotiation tool. You can't do this if you're no good at negotiation. But build some trust with the landlord, negotiate out the subleasing clause, and then you make it into a short-term rental. You pop for the design and the furnishings, and you basically are just renting someone else's house and then managing an Airbnb, but you didn't have to come up with the ownership of the house itself. Because if you figure out that system, and I know a guy who does this where he has he has little warehouses in town. What do they call those? Little storage units full of mid-century modern furniture, and he just does a refresh on several properties in town, and just keeps them looking fresh, keeps the pictures going. But he doesn't need to own the houses. He just needs to own a bunch of furniture, buy paint en masse. It's a hustle it's a labor of love. But
I don't like that one. I think it's a bad business. I think Airbnb, that is kind of it'd still be there, but the margins are too low. Plus, the most beautiful part of an Airbnb is that you own the house. So you're like not losing so much on your mortgage. Even if you lose a little bit each month, you're still coming out on top. That's the magic of Airbnb, in my opinion. Granted, I've never done Airbnb. I don't like real estate all that much. So
I've done it 3 times and I always made well over my mortgage.
How much did you? Okay, so what'd you Airbnb? Was it like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath?
First one was. The next one was a 1-1 studio, and the next one.
How much did you make above your mortgage?
On the 3-2, we paid $800 a month on our mortgage because we bought it in 2010 at the bottom of the market.
Oh my gosh!
I put $6,000 of furnishing into it.
Okay.
And then I rented it out for $150 a night, and in a monthly sense, we cleared $2,200 a month, paid $300 in utilities, and netted about $1,100.
$150 a night for a house of that size. So right now, you could probably do a house of that size for, let's say, $250 a night. Right? Is that safe to say?
Yeah, this was 10 years ago. So
okay, so let's say $250 a night, and your mortgage is, let's say, $1,600.
Yep.
If you own the house, and I come up to you and I say, hey. I want to rent it out. I'll give you $1,800, and then I handle all the rest. Would you?
I wouldn't give them $1,800. I would say, hey, fair market rent at the time was $1,200 for that neighborhood. I would say, hey, I'll give you $1,350. Right? Nobody else will give you $1,350 in this market, and I'll take great care of the house. And did you know that Airbnb is a totally less abusive way to cash flow a house? Because if a family moves in there, you've got 5 people a day coming and going all the time. They're going to damage the walls, the carpet, things.
Dude, I don't know if I buy that. I've heard tons of horror stories.
No, it's real. It's real.
Granted, I've done Airbnb a lot of times, and it's always been wonderful.
The horror stories exist. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So you're still on the hook to clean up every now and then. Somebody shoots up in your house and then kicks the drywall in. But that's
classic.
not that. I mean, that happened at one of my places. But that's not that crazy, to be honest. Like, it's, hey, you're kicked out. Hey, we have to patch and paint, and like we have to make sure there's no hypodermic needles. And it's a 1-day cleanup every once a year event or once in 2-year events. So for the person who's willing to work it, like, I don't know, it worked out for me. Our next one was $2,600 mortgage. It cost us $15 or $20 to furnish it, and we cleared $3,800 pretty predictably. So again, we probably
you made $3,800.
No. We
so you made about $1,000.
Yeah, we probably made about $1,000. But we cleaned it ourselves. So that one wasn't nearly as profitable for the amount of work it was because of a much bigger house.
Yeah.
But the wear and tear was tiny. Like, it was like 9 or 10 nights a month. It wasn't crazy. Like, you kept a nice house nice, basically. But if I had rented that to a family who moved in with kids and a dog, I'd be swapping all the carpet when they moved out 2 years later. You'd be, it's just different.
Would you enjoy this business?
It is for the type of person who likes being a handyman, a little bit administrative on the computer, and like earning money in a non-hourly sense. It's not a scaling thing.
It's like an extremely short-term property management business. I guess think of it like that.
Yeah. So for people who are stuck in a job and they really need a path, like, this is good for that. This is a good side thing, right? I also know a couple like engineers. So one quit Google, one still works at Instagram, and they at Meta, they quit. The Google guy quit his job, and his partner, she kept her tech job, but they went remote during COVID, and he just went full bore onto this real estate thing. Just stopped making $300K a year on his salary, and he started building these.
Did he pick the right time? That makes a lot of sense. And if you go hard, obviously that'll beat your $300K salary in the long term every single time, especially because he was buying the places, I'm assuming, not just renting.
So for people who have a 401k, they can take the 401k and roll it over into a self-directed IRA. So this is something we talked about with Caleb earlier in the year. So you can self-direct. You don't have to just trust Fidelity with your 500K in your retirement account. So if you're a little bit further down the road in your career, you've been building your 401k and you're afraid of the markets right now, you can just roll into a self-directed IRA and then start buying property. So you can still do normal like loans. You can just use your 401k for down payments on houses and go get a Fannie or Freddie loan. So that's a big way to also kind of leverage either Airbnb or just raw rentals themselves and get out of the markets. So that was a highlight for me.
Do you think, honestly, shoot me with some honesty here. Do you think real estate is oversaturated right now?
No.
You think
that sounds like somebody who's never done real estate to me.
That's valid. I do own a house, but I've never gone in the investment route.
You do own a house. Yeah.
I do.
No, it doesn't. That's just how it always feels.
Does it always feel this way? Because I guess I've only paid attention to it in the last 3 years or whatever. But everywhere I look, it's everybody starting a business, clause.
Do you know how much more milk is? Milk is quite a bit more expensive too in the last 3 years.
I do almond cow.
Well, almond nipples are also more expensive.
Yeah.
Everything is more expensive. And when you look at it on, when you look at on just the average staples that you live off of, and then you look at real estate, you're like, yeah, it's just all going up. Your dollar just doesn't go as far, and that is normal.
Not necessarily going up, though. I'm hesitant starting businesses in the real estate sector just because I feel like everybody's talking about businesses in the real estate sector. However,
that sounds to me like what the algorithm feeds you. I think that's probably just like there are a lot of people. Yeah. There are a lot of people who get rich with real estate. That is like massive thing. And yes, that is saturated. So let's not be that show.
Dude, what are the ads you get on your phone? I always get you want to make this much money in X amount of time, or these are the tools you need with OpenAI, or all this stuff. What do you get?
I'm getting a lot of the AI stuff. I get family ads,
oh, that's good.
Like, take your family to Disney World. I get electric vehicle ads all the time. I get home warranty phone calls, spam calls.
I get those.
Okay. All right. High-end escape rooms. Not the normal escape room, but we learned this from Relay. If you can differentiate, the margins on a high-end escape room can actually be substantial. Now, it's a hustle. It's not that different than some of the other ideas, but like you got to go put in the work, but you also get to apply creativity. And people will pay for an experience, and the more and more things go digital, I'm kind of bullish on these in-person experiences. Like I went axe throwing last month with some buddies, and we just had beer and we threw axes at the wall of boards with the targets, and it felt like something I would schedule into. Like I would do that every month, right? It just needs some marketing. So I think escape rooms lend themselves better to marketing and getting customers.
Okay, yes. Okay, I love this idea. I do love high-end escape rooms. I absolutely love escape rooms. I once did an escape room that cost me $100. It was in Seoul, Korea, and it was amazing. We had to crawl through tunnels and all that stuff, and there was like trap doors, but all set up with electronics, all the smoke, all the whistles, all that stuff. Yep. The problem that Raleigh, our guest, what he presented to us is there's just too much regulation in America to do this well. And so
easy for the guy who made $26 million off of it to say.
Yeah, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough. It's only
it's never enough.
No. I agree with though. I think that would prohibit it being a high-end escape room, unless you had some way around all these regulations. I think normal escape rooms is still good.
He did high-end in his. So he was. So maybe not as high-end, but
wasn't he saying though? He was saying
experience.
Regulations were like prohibiting him from doing the really, really interesting things, like crawling through tunnels and things like that.
But someone still bought it from him, right, at a premium. So like, clearly there's profit in the business, there's margin. It just has to be the right operator. So it isn't whether or not, to me, it's a good business. It's like, are you the right operator for this type of business? And I think that's more the question people should be asking
that's
themselves.
Fair. It would be so much fun to run, I gotta say. Like that would be so cool.
Yeah, you'd have a blast.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me pitch you one. This is a fun idea. from you, Mr. Kendall. It's recruiters for recruiters. So do you have a recruiting business? And wait, do you need recruiters for your business? Then go to our recruiters for recruiters. Yeah, exactly. Do you still think it's a good idea?
I do. I think remote recruiting is a really, really important operational discipline every serious company has to figure out.
Yeah, well, you said this. I think it was in the podcast we did 60 podcasts ago. But a bad hire is really easy to find, but a medium hire is the worst thing on planet Earth, and then you're just stuck with them forever, right? What's this thing? What's the story?
I just believe that the worst thing for a business is a mediocre hire because they sneak in to the culture and you don't detect them right away, and they just do their job and they just take home a paycheck, and the business doesn't realize it has this toxicity because it takes so freaking long to find out, oh, this person could be giving the business twice as much value, but they're kind of good enough to not get fired. But
okay, now apply this though to the recruiter. So now you hired a recruiter, and that recruiter is pretty
mediocre
average.
Recruiter.
Yeah.
is
everybody you get is
people?
Just yeah, absolutely. So you don't want that, right? So you would pay a lot of money for a really good recruiter because the best people you have on your team are as good as you're going to get.
I believe a business is basically a collection of people who are willing to work together on the same things at the same time with the same priorities. So at the end of the day, strip away the people who are working on the things together, and is the business still intact? No, you might have subscription revenue for another year until all your customers leave. But at the end of the day, businesses need leaders who draw in talented people. And talented people need to basically be cared for so that they want to keep working with each other, because the business is making more money than it's paying its team. That's how a business works. So in order for them to be satisfied, they have to be doing good work and contributing alongside other people doing good work. So recruiters are the key that kind of can unlock that for leaders. So I think your most key hire is your company's recruiter, your first recruiter, your best recruiter.
Your CFO, then your directors, then your recruiters. Right? No, you'd say recruiters first.
Now your recruiter, and then your COO, and then your recruiter, your CRO, your COO. You don't need the CFO until and then 10 people down the line.
Oh my
God.
No,
I'm a big believer that's go make the sales and marketing happen and then build the infrastructure to keep up with yourself. It's painful, to do backwards.
That's how you have to do it. Yeah, because if you expand
but
too fast, then I totally agree with that.
It's dangerous to not be good at that part. Yeah.
So very true. Okay, I will now pitch you, bro. You remember this? The Alexa swear jar. So you leave the house for the day.
But I love this.
Alexa swear jar. So you leave the house for the day, and Alexa snitches on your kids when they swear. So you get back, and you're like, well, Johnny, did you say any bad words? And he's like, no, I swear I didn't. And well, Alexa hears you swear that you did. In fact, I'm going to play it back for you. And then you have little 5-year-old Johnny. Now, this is great too, because you can play it back when he's 20 years old, and it's just going to be adorable, right? It's like your little 5-year-old kid saying a bad word is cute as heck, but you can't say it's cute at the time. It's bad. It's bad. I think this would be an amazing, I don't know how you add things to Alexa. I don't have an Alexa, but I would totally use this. It'd be hilarious.
I think the model for this, it needs to be a little more service model. So I think with the home automation and Internet of Things side of industry right now, there's a market that hasn't really adjusted or normalized yet for basically what Geek Squad used to do. Right. So, and I think they're still around, but we used to have these, IT kids running around solving problems in the house. But I think a great business is just, hey, mom, hey, dad, did you know we can set you up with these doodads and bells and whistles and teach you how to operate them? And that actually fetches hundreds of dollars for the install and then some recurring money over time. And so if you get some, referral fees because you sold the Alexa app that does what you're talking about, the swear jar for Alexa, and maybe it's $8 a month for that one, but the install people get $3 of that 8, and they installed it alongside the Philips Hue lighting and the sound automation. They hooked up your Alexa to play in multiple rooms at different points. There's all these different things. They hooked it up to wirelessly sync with the TV, and bass is installed. They hooked up your security camera on your front porch. All of those things.
This is a totally different business. I like this idea though. This is great.
That's I think that's the blocker on why this isn't mass market, I guess, is my take. Like the blocker is you
Home
don't
automation.
have like the average mommy and daddy sitting around shopping for how can I nerd out on my home and make things, how can I get features in my home? You have them, just trying to survive, like raising kids and being, middle-class Americans. So what they need is an easy button. So they might go, wow, I love that. But then they're not going to go install it themselves and set it up. They just need a price and an easy button.
Yeah. Okay, I have a new idea for you. I'm hesitant to share this because I think it's a damn good idea. And it's probably already been done. Okay, so ChatGPT, right? And then I told you about the Whisper API, right? So it's basically it's able to hear people a lot better and translate everything to voice and all that stuff.
Okay.
So you could take a Raspberry Pi and integrate it with ChatGPT and Whisper and turn it into a ChatGPT for blind people. So blind people can't use Google, right? They don't really have the accessibility, but you can press a button and talk to it and say, what does this kind of bird sound make? And it would tell you. It would literally just dictate out that. So boom, they have access to the internet at a whole new level at a different time. And then you can put the freaking Alexa swear jar app in it, and then you can set it on your table and say, hey, just keep a repository of every single swear word that anybody says everywhere. And then if you ever press play, it's going to be the funniest, most terrible, terrible thing on planet Earth just to hear 25 swear words just come out. But yeah, there you go.
I hate that business.
Oh, no, it's so fun. What are you talking about? Talk about the fun.
I like the tool. I like the tool, but I think that it's picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. I think that Dude,
that's the difference between us. I think, sometimes my business ideas, I'm just going to say, are very douchey. But just because it puts a smile on your face, I think it's worth pursuing.
Yeah, I mean, you remind me of The Greatest Showman. Did you see that movie? I forget the dude's name.
Singers, and the guy is the Australian fellow.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
You remind me of you want to entertain, you want to make people.
Dude, I want to entertain me. You know what I do, dude? I go to freaking Flat Earth chat groups and just make friends for the heck of it. Like that's just it's hilarious and it makes me happy. Anyway, I'm sorry.
And my take is that doesn't create margin on a P&L. So I think a lot of the ideas that you have are really good ideas, but terrible businesses.
That's funny.
If we're doing business ideas, I think it gets a solid fail. But maybe we can fix your idea. Okay, so you proposed, like a talk to me for blind people, which is already coming and already set up with,
certainly.
Like AirPods and an iPhone does this pretty good already, but
not as
you want to
as
expand the
ChatGPT.
reach, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that a better business that can actually make money, and then if you have some money, then you can do more fun things with that money. So I think it's just the order of how you want to live your life. Would be going after like veteran or government contracts. So go after blind veterans. And go make a one-time solution. Like this is a price per head. We install this. We set them up. We teach them. It comes with a services contract. So now it's not like the government choosing to give Apple yet another contract. Now you do have to be a black female to pull this one off really well. Because if you can go get that minority in card with the government, they will give that contract to you so much faster. It speeds up your pipeline. So if you're listening to this and you are a diverse minority and you're not like Dustin, go do the government contractor thing.
Damn. I feel very called out right there.
I know.
Well,
it's just a money grab that is out there. So I think that business could be really good. So I do think
services for the elderly in general are fantastic businesses.
Just go after the veterans because you're getting one contract to rule them all.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, let me pitch you another one. Since I'm on a roll here, let me pull up my notes. I talked about, remember this? We talked about the sidewalk advertising agency. So you get to contact this agency and they will advertise for you with chalk on sidewalks. So you could be walking down LA and you'd be like, whoa, what's this icon?
Dude.
And if they're good enough, they can make it QR codes that you can scan.
I don't remember this discussion, but I actually think that is legit. Okay. So let's say we want to advertise for IdeaDrop. The price to do this, so if we give them $5,000 a month, the amount of IdeaDrop, logos and business ideas, and even like a QR code with a stencil, they could just stencil a QR code with the chalk until it gets washed off. Like go to LA, go to the high populated areas, New York, Seattle. No, Seattle will rain out the chalk. Anywhere that it's not raining often.
If there's a chalk, if there's a chalk spray paint, this would work really well.
And they could pay like young artists to do this, right? So, so I feel like artists already struggle to make enough money doing something that they like. This is barely prostituting their gift. So this actually like has some inherent margin, and it's creative enough to where like lots of businesses are willing to risk $5,000 or $10,000 on a creative marketing strategy.
Bro, let's just say you're walking down the street and you see a QR code in chalk. Will you not take out your phone and look at it? You will. For sure you will.
Dude, you're not wrong.
100% of the time, you'll do that. You'll be like, I've never seen this. If you saw it on a drone fleet in the sky, just a QR code, you'd be like, I gotta know.
Well, and the QR code component of that makes it now trackable. So now we know how many people actually took that action, and you can give metrics back to your customers.
And you could do it per location, like
That's
different locations. You could say, all right, we're gonna do it in 12 points in LA.
So you also can then like tell CMOs or ad buyers who this is their job basically to spend ad money and spend it as well as possible. You can tell them the numbers just like you would a piece of commercial real estate. So the way that commercial real estate's typically sold, if it's on a street corner, is like they'll get the traffic throughput numbers. So they'll set up a camera for like a few days or a month, and they'll get the latest count of cars driving by and all that stuff. So you can do that with like a little bit of estimating of the foot traffic that will see this. And you're like, on this street corner, and every time it gets erased, we have a little hidden camera that watches it, and within 48 hours, we're going to go redraw it.
You would know, because you could just measure the frequency that people would read it, and then you say, oh, it dropped. It's gone. And then you just, I got to replace that.
You got to go reapply my lipstick. I love it. I love that one.
Fun.
You know what? That's a business that is a little bit of showmanship and has good margin. I think we found a compromise.
Dude, that's for the person that works at Starbucks that makes the signs, and they just work at Starbucks because they love making the signs. Boom.
Right. Well, and it's a small agency business model, so I think that can work in a local geography with some low-cost labor.
Yeah.
Be a fun business to run. What about lead gen for vasectomies?
Yeah, I love this idea. I love it. Explain it.
So I paid $800 cash for my vasectomy, and being a time sensitive person, so I'm both time sensitive and private part sensitive person, and I just wanted this done quickly and with as little pain as possible. So I Googled. I had been told by a friend to Google no scalpel vasectomy. So I Googled no scalpel vasectomy. I clicked on the very first link that just said no scalpel vasectomy. And it took me straight to a Calendly page. And there happened to be a tech forward, vasectomy surgeon in his like early 30s in my area, which is not true most places. This doesn't already exist in most cities. And he just had this no nonsense. Do you want a 15-minute consult? That's free. Or do you want to just book the appointment and come in for the 30-minute operation and pay now? And so it's literally like book it and pay now, and it's next Tuesday, and I know it. No fuss, no getting referred by a specialist, no going through insurance. It's just get it done. And the whole point of the no scalpel thing is you don't have swelling. So that's nice.
So essentially, this doesn't matter that it's a vasectomy. Vasectomy is perfect because every guy will likely have one.
High revenue, high frequency, and it's simple surgery.
Theoretically, it would work with literally like, booking dentist appointments, but you wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to do it for something that people don't care about going through insurance. They just want it done.
So the dentist one's good, but lots of private equity companies are already rolling up dentist offices. Like most people don't realize that a private equity company probably owns your dentist's business and your dentist probably sold to them. Like that's happening en masse, and other related businesses that are really systemized do the same thing. So the corporatization of healthcare is terrible. It's a really bad problem. And the vasectomy thing has my attention because it's a no-nonsense customer. It's a no-nonsense medical provider. I'm willing to pay the cash so I don't have to go through insurance, which saves you a lot of steps. And it basically makes like this guy told me he does 10 a day, $800 times 10 a day. He has 3 part-time nurses on staff and he works 5 days a week. You do the math.
Yeah, it's good math.
So you're talking like 100,000 plus in margin. You probably clear $100,000 a month at scale if you can keep your calendar booked. So in a metropolitan area, these guys can do that. And the only thing that risks that $1 million a year of profit income for them is other vasectomy surgeons. Okay, so the lead gen service is like, I will do all this for you. I know the tech stuff. I know how to set a booking system. I know how to run Google ads. I know how to get you a guy who will swipe his credit card.
Okay, so the trick is, no trick. This is a damn good business idea, and it would work really, really well. I looked into this. I seriously thought about doing this. Maybe I should just go back and do it again. But you just find people in every region. You call them up and say, hey, I do a medical scheduling service. I book it, calendar, do all that for you, and it's of no expense to you. You take the deposit fee. So literally somebody says, $200 to deposit the appointment. That's $200 straight in your pocket.
Yep.
They show up.
I collect a deposit. You get a verified customer, and then you handle the rest from there.
Yeah. And if somebody makes a deposit and they don't show up, then you just kick the doctor $100. Say, sorry, they screwed us both. You know what I mean? Or whatever that is.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that model. I also think you don't have to call the vasectomy doctors as well. So the other way I would test this is I would just go get the leads. Make a landing page, say, no scalpel, vasectomy, no nonsense booking, book now, get snipped. You can actually be playful with this one. You don't have to attach to any doctor's brand, and you can just say, the doctor will be in touch with you shortly, and you can just get the deposit and give some. Would
you say, hey, book the appointment? Oh, yep, it's going to be on the 16th of this month. Okay, fantastic. Boom, 16th at 4 p.m. Done. And then you would then go out and find a doctor that's available 16th at 4 p.m. and then email them that time?
Yeah, and then if you have to reschedule it, you just call them back and say, hey, the doctor actually can do the 14th or the 18th. Which one do you prefer, the 16th? You just have to have one step added, but you've already got the customer.
If you have one admin that takes care of that part, then I like it. If you don't, then I don't like it as much. I do think it would be easier if you just got one doctor to sign on and he was like, sweet, here's my 1 day a week, book it. And you just fill it up.
2 different ways to start the same business. I agree.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Fantastic idea. Hats off to that. That might be the best idea so far.
Okay, we talked to... what do you think about the Roomba for lawn care, like as a subscription service? So people are already paying like $200 a month for lawn care.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm this customer. So I don't like doing my lawn. Mostly because of the time issue, right? So in my head, like I'm always like, I'll do it. But then my wife will tell you, I don't do it. So I want like a lower cost. I don't want to pay $250 for the the guys who come mow and trim the hedges and do the whole monthly service that is like a more intense thing. I want the like $80 a month, no nonsense, just snip this stuff. And so my thought is the reason why that isn't offered at a lower price point is because the labor is quite intense. You got to load up some guys into a truck and you got to drive out there every 2 weeks or whatever it is. And you gotta cut the thing. Well, instead, you could finance those kind of Roombas for lawn care. There's a bunch of them that are just...
Are they good?
Yeah. Yeah, the way they work is they just do very, very small clippings. So you got to do one cut first, right, to get it ready. And then they just take a little bit off every single day. So if you're not actually like bagging lawn at all, you're taking a little bit off every day on a schedule. So you can run them at 2 a.m. if you want. They're not too loud and they don't have to be super high powered if the lawn is already groomed. But the way you get a lawn groomed is you take care of it every day or every week. So to me, what I would pay for is I don't want to go spend the $3,000 as a consumer to go get one of those robots. I want to pay some provider, some service provider, 70, 80, 90 bucks a month for them to audit their own robot, them to do the maintenance, them to take care of it. And if it gets damaged or stolen, they'll replace it. But I feel like the business side, they can go finance these with the manufacturers because they're going to buy 20 at a time. So they can go say, hey, will you give me net 90 terms? Or it's all in the structuring of the terms. And on the customer side, I'm going to have to sign a 1-year commitment or a 2-year commitment or something to cover their loan on their side. So they're going to own the equipment for years. And this feels it feels like you could build quite a big business. You're not making as much per customer, but you can make a margin per customer because you might be paying $40 a month for your loan for this Roomba lawn care robot, but then you're charging the customer $80. And then you have a service technician making sure they're running.
Okay, so lawn care services typically charge $30 to $70 an hour. So let's say they're charging $50 and it takes 1 hour to do your lawn. That's $50 a week. Yeah, that's like $200. This is good.
And a lot of them won't do a small commitment. So a lot of them won't just come and do an hour. They need you to sign a bigger commitment. And so then you got a lot of homeowners like, that's not in my budget. But
no.
Yep.
Yeah, that would work. That would really work because I wouldn't want to deal with it. And also, like, they could just swap out the lawns and then refurbish it again and again and again. And when it gets injured, when it breaks down, they just send it back out to the manufacturer.
Exactly.
Get a new one.
Yep.
Boom,
so, and your back office admin. So I think this is best done with an existing lawn care business that already has customers. So you don't have to build it from zero. And you can, first of all, just go get some beta customers and say, hey, we're rolling out this new thing. Yeah. The benefit to you is you're going to have this thing like actually stay the same height, your lawn the same height every single day. The benefit to us is we won't be out there every 2 weeks anymore. We'll be out there every 6 weeks now. And the price stays the same. So they might be able to keep the $220 customer and then provide the like trimming the hedges every 6 weeks and all that other stuff.
Exactly. That's the thing I was thinking is like the edging and the hedges and things like that. But you just have to just include a little bit of management and upkeep. I think it's a good idea. I think it would work. I do think it would work well, actually.
Dude, these things also have little locking chambers. Like they go into like a little mini garage that locks. Oh. So they set it up in like basically a box.
So it's like theft proof then.
It's like theft proof. If you want to steal it, you literally have to steal it while it's running.
You have to steal it, or you have to like get a crane to carry everything. Because I imagine that like little garage.
Oh, they're not that big. No, they're not that big. They're 2.5 feet.
But could you bolt it to the ground so nobody does steal it?
Yeah, the box gets bolted to like a structure, like a house or the ground.
Perfect.
Yep. I love it. And then the thing just drives on in there and parks and recharges for the night.
That's fantastic, dude.
Yep.
We have a lot of these in terms of review. Should we make this two episodes, or what do you think?
No, keep going.
Keep going.
We're doing good. We're only 40 minutes deep.
You ready? Here's a quick one, but I still love it. You ever been in the shower and thought to yourself, man, I've got an idea. Wowee, whippy, I've got a big idea. Oh, I wish I could write it down. Oh, but I can't. A shower pencil and pad. They would work. I think they have them for scuba divers. Just mass market produce it. Call it a day. Good business, bad business.
I'm so torn on this one. I want to say it's a bad business, but the truth is people buy dumb shit all the time.
Oh, I buy dumb shit all the time. So do you.
Yeah. So I do too. Yeah. So it's a price point product, arbitrage. Can you get the price point to where the consumer just will try this? It probably has to Crocs.
Be. I mean, they'll buy this. Come on.
People have, they're not going to spend more than, most people won't spend more than $20. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you can make this for $19.95 and make it look kind of cool, you have to remember people don't want to mess with their aesthetic in their shower.
But you got little kids and they're taking a bath. Oh, then you just create a choking hazard. I don't know.
There's probably a way to do it. No, it's probably a way to do it safely for kids. I'm not worried about that one.
Okay. Let me hit you another idea real fast, because that one I don't think I would want to start that business, but it'd be fun in some ways. Okay.
I wouldn't do that business.
All right, here's my idea for you. Pitched a long time ago, but tell me if it's good or bad. It's a website called Overrated. It just tells you so there's overrated products, and it just tells you the cheaper versions of those overrated products, like literally carbon copies of each other. This happens all the time. It's down to orange juice. It's everywhere.
SM7B.
Yeah.
Overrated. Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
But we found a $200 one that does the same thing. So why spend the $700 for the whole kit?
Dude, the only reason you buy things like that is for a statement. It's just for a signifier of this is who I am and this is what I want to represent. Right?
But a lot of times, we're not trying to represent. We just want the thing that works.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The behind the scenes of everything, I only want the thing that works.
Yep. I love it.
I have a fancy studio, but
it sounds like it sounds like a good website that provides good value. It sounds like a hard marketing job for a low amount of revenue. So you'd have to be a good SEO.
No. The revenue
wizard.
Would be really good once you get the snowball going, because it's all affiliate. Right, so it's just
but to get traffic, you can't run ads on that. So there is a company called Manscaped. No, not Manscaped. Manopause. Manscaped was their advertiser for a while. Manopause. Manopause.com. And I talked to these guys, and they were in their marketing contract for Manscaped. They were actually running Manscaped ads to manopause.com. So the ad that they would run is something that would drive traffic just for the little buzzers for manscaping tools, but to their website. So they would kind of be able to show traffic, but they're only monetizing affiliate numbers. So if you're spending, let's say $30 to drive a buyer to your website, and you're making $10 on the affiliate fee, it doesn't pencil. So you can't do it in an ad centric model. So the only way to do it is a organic traffic model. So you have to have some type of content or SEO optimization in order for those businesses to work.
I'm not sure if I follow. So you're talking about this manopause, whatever. So they get, let's say they get, several $1,000s for them to host Manscaped's ad, right? And then Manscaped just measures the clicks and says, yep, it's worth it, because they know the lifetime value of their customers.
They're measuring every customer that comes through this channel, but they're only kicking back a certain amount.
Oh, so they know how many people. So they're like, ooh, we're not getting that many customers.
That's how all online ads really
But that's
are
like a little banner ad. That's not like the company, the website that I'm thinking is you go to the website and there's 1,000 products there. What are they all? They're just the cheaper version that
But how do you get a customer to the website? That's the problem. How do you get a customer to that website?
Yeah,
and you can't pay for ads to do it. So you're actually limited by model, because if you pay for a Facebook ad to get somebody to, overhyped.com or whatever it is, then you've probably spent on your customer acquisition cost more than the affiliate revenue you would get from anything they buy through the
you'd have to see
site.
how many times those people come back for all the different little things. It would be a website that I would just use as a quick and dirty way to figure out, like, okay, I'm doing this. Is there a cheaper way to do this?
Right. So in order to start that business, you have to be good at organic traffic. You have to figure out how to get organic free traffic.
Okay. I got a better website idea for you. You ready?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. It's called Sell My Data. It's just you go on there and you sign up for you to get your data sold to whatever companies you want. You can opt in for what kind of data. We already know that people buy your data. Just say, all right, fine, you can track me. I'll let you track me. I don't care. And I'm just going to say, I don't want you to track this aspect.
Okay. It has to have an upload. So you have to make it like upload your bank statement, upload your business bank statement, upload your upload like your sexual identity, upload your family history, upload your, like, you literally have to give like
everything.
It could give you instructions and say, hey, go to Apple's, download my data, go to Google's, download my data, get your personal data from Google and Apple, then surrender it here because you're going to go sell it to the highest bidder.
I think it could be a Chrome plugin or just an app on your phone. And literally people are like,
this is such a troll business. So
it would work.
It has to, as a business, it would have to be good at segmenting the data to be able to attract buyers of the data. And people would have to have like an easy process for like, here's how you go get as much data on you as possible. And here's how to surrender.
Would do it. It would just integrate it. It would API the whole thing. And then think of this though. You could, let's say
Google is not going to let the app API integrate to all of Google's data. They already are making you swear on privacy statements that they're not doing that.
There's a way around this. I don't know the way around this.
The way is you have to upload your shit to the platform.
Okay, so let's say you do that though, and I'm running the company. The beauty of that is I can sell your data to whoever I want to, which means because you opted in, and let's say you get a little cut, or I just pay you flat out. Like here's $20 for it or something like that. But I can sell it 30 times over. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Great. Yeah. Yeah, because like Tesla might want to go be like, hey, how many Ford buyers do you have? We're going after Ford truck owners.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And you're like,
or
hey,
I need to know everything about the Frankfurt region, or I need to know about this city or that city. What do you think? Good idea? Bad idea?
These deals already happen on the back end, but if you can get more pristine, clear data that people have already said, you're welcome to have it. I do think then it fetches a premium. I think this could be pulled off. I think that,
dude,
you got to get the payment to the user, right? So how much am I getting for my data? Like if you give me $2, I'm not interested. But if you're like, here's $80, or you get paid every time it gets sold. Now
I know
some
how
people
this
are
works.
getting tempted.
This just hit me. I think this would work because it would cover businesses' asses. Because businesses are collecting
it's a
data.
Huge liability.
And they're like,
buffer.
they shouldn't. How are they like? How do we know this information? There's no good, clean way for us to display how we know this.
Right.
And they're like, yep, there it is. That's how we know. We know from that guy. And so then they can clearly show.
Is like Verizon has a crap ton of my data, right? So, so if Verizon, has in their privacy policy and their agreements with me that they can only share it with other Verizon-owned companies and affiliate companies, the definition of affiliate suddenly becomes really gray. Then this affiliate company actually has in their privacy policy, they can share with their affiliate. Now it's 2 or 3 degrees away, and that company makes back-end data deals, and it's technically legal, but how would I know as a consumer?
This is great and terrible.
Let me start the counter business to this. What if we have a law firm that specializes in suing companies on your behalf that have wrongfully collected and used your data? And the law firm just needs to say, okay, Verizon's actually a really common offender right now. And you have some people who are specialists in underwriting and investigating the flow of these things. You probably could even recruit data sales people, data business partnership salespeople to be a part of this law firm and turn against their previous employers.
Yes, this would work. It would be
So,
just a pain in the ass though. But like it would just be sue and settle. It's like, hey Verizon, you sold we know that you did this and you
yep,
can settle for
sue
X
and
amount or
settle.
we can try. Yeah, yeah.
Sue and settle with a media threat on, in one hand that's a sue and settle, and on the left
Yeah.
hand it's it. On the
I would
other
hate
hand,
to run that business. I would hate it. I would hate it.
oh,
hate
this would be a
it.
terrible business. But
Yeah.
there's a lawyer out there who loves this business.
Yeah, dude. If you really want to do that, that's great. You go to town. All right, kick me one of your ideas.
Personal injury lawyers, right? Like, come on, upgrade your model, dude. Go after this kind of personal injury. All right. I did like buying a laundromat. We talked with Richard a month ago, because creative financing, which is like the going lingo for all the different ways you can basically structure a deal with somebody that's not too heavy on cash out of pocket. Mm-hmm. That is the thing that unlocks a lot of, oh, this would be a terrible idea, but now it's actually suddenly good because I can build in contingencies, I can build in some parachutes, I can build in these terms that happen over time. Now buying a laundromat suddenly is like, you know what? I could upgrade the security, I could paint, I could get a few new modern machines, I could, sell some real premium laundry detergent, all organic, of course, at the front. You could probably do a business model facelift on an average laundromat that's been running for 20 years and probably give a boomer an exit, right? Yeah. So I do like watching these kind of like the Cody Sanchez's of the world. I do really appreciate the boomers are retiring. Let's make sure we modernize and snatch up their businesses. Did you know you could buy a business?
Yes, no, the boomer thing is definitely big. You said that a lot. I totally agree with that. But what about if you did a laundromat with an adjoining something that would feed into it, like a laundromat with an adjoining adjoined arcade and ice cream shop? Because
because
you're going to go there once a month with your kids, and your kids are going to hate being there. They're going to hate it. And it's just too short a time for you to go there, leave, come back, because that's not safe either.
It's the only... Yes, that's a better idea. That's a better mousetrap, but it only works in some areas where it's more of a... Like, that only works in, downtown San Francisco, where you go to the laundromat not because you're too poor to have laundry at home, but you go to the laundromat because your space is just too small. So now you can pop for ice cream, you can pop for the arcade, right? But
that's smart.
What if at the laundromat... So this is one that I've been seeing it at. There's one place in my city that does this. They give me a per pound price on laundry, and they pick it up from my house like Instacart, and they drop it back off folded. I have, I think we did the math. It was 70 pieces of clothing per day that gets put in the dirty clothes hamper. 70 per day.
How many pounds is that?
I don't know.
Can your wife lift it if it was in one bag?
All of it? Yeah. Yeah. So
like one basket of your daily
20 pounds. It's not like all daddy's jeans, right? So there's for the adults are only contributing 4 or 5 pieces. So each. So 10 of the pieces are us, and the other 60 pieces are our 5 kids. So that is just our reality. So the thing that takes us so much time is actually folding it and putting it away, not running it through machines. Running it through machines is not that hard. Folding it and putting it away is hard. So that added service level kind of moves it into a premium service layer. And that's pretty high margin, high revenue for them. And it's really like relieving for me. So I think that a lot of laundromats, you could like go do a create 10% down. Hey, I'm going to run your business. You can retire. I'll give you half of the earnings of this business for the next 3 years. Like that's like a recommended starting place to me, is like just split the profit 50-50 with the current owner. That way you're only risking profit. And they're like, well, yeah, it does turn a profit. And if you're going to take the headache off, and then like they might say, I want 7 years, not 3, and I want 70% of the profit. And then you're negotiating, right? So you have to be a little bit adept at negotiating. You have to be comfortable there, and you have to know what you're willing to take on as risk. But a lot of that risk then gets mitigated by adding these add-on services. I probably wouldn't do the ice cream parlor, but the arcade thing, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Like a playground in an arcade? Great idea.
I was thinking the ice cream parlor because it comes built in with a person who's going to be there. Because vandalism is very, very large.
That's not
for
a bad
laundromats.
idea. Yep. There's a 7-Eleven adjoining the laundromat that I'm picturing.
Yeah, that's better. But like even that, like it's just that
feels like I'm gonna get
robbed. Yeah, it attracts a crowd. It's you want it to attract the correct crowd because then you have lower problems in terms of vandalism. Right? Have you, what's the book Freakonomics? They found out that if you go into an underdeveloped area and you just replace all of the broken windows with nice, good glass windows, brand new windows, violence and crime goes down. So you kind of use that same logic. So I'm just going to put nice things around this. I'm going to do gentrification ahead of the curve.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Anyways, hey, all right. So, bro, do you remember? You ready for this one? A browser that throttles your internet speed. You tired of your kids staying online all that time? You just say, hey, after an hour, I want you to slow down, slow down.
And they don't even have to know. This is the most passive-aggressive parenting tactic ever. Or you could just parent your kids. But, I like your idea.
No. Okay, so this is better used for a coffee shop. Think of it. You go to a coffee shop. I sit in coffee shops too long. I acknowledge I am the problem here. But I love it. Well, I actually bounce between them a lot. It's like a coffee shop per project and idea.
So it throttles one person's connection?
Yeah.
At a time. So it's just like, oh, this person's been here for an hour. Now it's going to fall off 10% every 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Until it's just unbearably slow. Can't do it.
And then they're just going to be like, and they get up and leave.
Yeah, and then it just resets every single day.
I think that it's hard to bruise the reputation of any business, and that's going to do that for some of these.
No, but you wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. It was just like, man, sorry, the internet just got bad. And you could set it really generous. After 2.5 hours, it just gets slow because... Dude, It's been 2.5 hours. Get the hell out.
I think it's a terrible business. I think it's a cool tool. That's my feedback.
Yeah, it would be really hard to get adoption.
How does it make money? It's not.
The bad way that I thought how it makes money is you just give it to coffee shops for basically free, and then you sell the data of the users. And I don't like that model.
So my friend was a part of a startup in Europe called Chargeify. And their business model was to essentially take the wireless charging things that your phone can be wirelessly charged.
I love those.
And Wi-Fi. So they could give you Wi-Fi and a simple embedded, nice looking wireless charger at the coffee tables, for example, or the hotel lobby, tables. As an easy way for your users to charge and be connected. But the benefit you get is you get data on who is around. So they're making a trade. Starbucks kind of does this with Google. They made a deal with Google Internet, and you have to sign in to Google when you go get their internet, and they're just getting information on you. That's the benefit to Google and Starbucks. They kind of both benefit from that deal. But the benefit to the consumer is... easy place to plug in and get connected.
Did he like the business? Was it successful?
Business did not work.
Really?
Raised a bunch of venture capital money. It just is a hustle. You have to close so many accounts. You have to convince them to change the way they're doing it now. Everybody already has an internet provider. You have to move them to a slightly better thing for a slightly better benefit. And it just, nobody wants to do that. It's like on Shark Tank a month ago, there was a baby changing table that sanitizes the baby changing table every time you close it for commercial bathrooms. So if you go into the gas station bathroom or the Target bathroom or whatever, and you need that baby changing table, the blue light or however that works, it kind of sanitizes it, right? With the UV rays, I think.
If I owned a gas station, I wouldn't care. I'd say, I mean, it already works.
Target might care, right? There's a few like nice places that are like, it's premium. It makes our mommies feel better. But like the problem with the business model is they're really like, now I have to, in order to provide this barely incremental thing to my customer, I got to get electricity run to where my baby changing table is. And I have a perfectly good baby changing table already there because it's compliancy in California. I have to have a baby changing table. So I already did the install. I already paid the handyman. So
were they making money off of it? Did they have any
They were losing
revenue?
money every year. They had revenue, but they were losing money from a profit standpoint. So I just think it's one of those things. I don't remember.
That's a bad, I hate to say it, but that's a bad business idea just because I don't think I would
Cool product
care.
though.
Right? It,
Cool
it
product.
reminds me of the business where it was those girls created like feminine products, but they made them look nice and they were beautiful dispensers for women's restrooms. And I think that's a great business idea because people need it and they will always buy it. This is different because they don't freaking need that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, upgrade being the Apple of feminine products and just everything is nice makes sense. But being the Apple of a baby changing station is like, I think that should have just been an add-on of the feminine care product line. That while their salesmen are already out there selling things that make margin, they can add incremental revenue to the sale for the high-end places.
That's interesting.
It's a good product, bad business, right? That's a theme.
Bro, okay. Do you remember the guy? We were on his podcast. He was not on our podcast. His name is Brent. Fantastic guy. Really cool guy. He had
Brenton
the idea.
on tour. Brent
on tour. Go listen to him. He's amazing. We need to have him on our podcast. We
Really?
We just got to make that happen. Yeah,
Let's do it.
He was smart. He was very smart. His idea was the remote living board. So it just shows you where you should live and gives you information on how you can live in those places. Because there are a lot of places on Earth that are looking to bring people to their country or to their town, and they will actually pay you to move there. Now, what you can do if you host this board is you just get a little bit of traction, and people are always, they have that wanderlust, so they're constantly looking up places. Where should I live? Where should I live? And so all you have to do is make deals with those towns. Like, dude, I will get people to move to your town. You don't have to pay people $10,000 to move here, which people do. Towns do that.
You
that
pay me
that actually
to get
happens.
people to move here.
Yeah, you pay me, and I get people there, and you can get income on the other side too. Because the people who are looking for places to go, they're going to your website. So your website is
you can get hotel
fast.
You can get hotel affiliate fees. You can get like travel agent affiliate fees. You could make deals with short-term rental people, Airbnbs, like car rentals. It reminds me, like basically anything in the tourism industry, you can go set up. I mean, first you start with the content. You start with maybe 3 cities that are just well known for relocating for your quality of life. And then I would go make your deals in those 3 cities once you have traffic and you're showing that people are interested in that. But I think you could also juice the traffic of that business by buying some of these wanderlust like Instagram accounts, right? Remember we talked to Raleigh about buying media accounts, like, so they have I forget, is it like Media Maven or something? They're
what was it?
His new business, MediaAcquire.com, I think. So his new business is like, hey, did you know you can buy an Instagram account or a Facebook community or a Reddit community? Like, you can just make a deal and spend cash to actually own the account that already has 100,000, followers or subscribers. I feel like that is the right play for many startups. Is just get the cash together and go buy your audience and then market the same way that account already has. Wanderlust to Argentina, the coast of Argentina. And
the coast of Argentina is a very beautiful, beautiful place, my friend.
Is it? I just made that up.
Yeah. It's amazing because on one
Thank
side
God
you
it's
have
not landlocked,
all of
I was
Antarctica, basically. And the other side you have like, it's sunny and nice and beautiful.
Wait,
it's like
you can see Antarctica from Argentina?
No. You're you can't see it, but you're basically miles away. There's a city down there called Ushuaia. It's right, the Patagonia is all through there. It is the most beautiful place. One of the most beautiful places I have ever been. Huge tourist spot for Israelis. Really weird. You wouldn't even think that, but yeah,
really?
Like Americans, we think of tourism. We think the Bahamas. Other countries, they think different spots, right? Like where do Germans go on vacation? I don't know. Right? They go somewhere.
Which honestly, if you were to peel back the layers, it's mostly marketing, right? It's just follow the marketing dollars, which marketing tends to follow margin. So wherever there was the most margin, Cancun, for example, low cost to deliver a high quality experience. True. So that was margin. Now marketing can be afforded to go buy an audience, basically. You go buy eyeballs.
Dude, I love Media Acquire. I actually think that's a fantastic thing, just buying and selling media businesses. That's being slept on. I love that we talked about that. Let me see if I have any more for us.
I will say this was a cool conversation from the community I had. One of the guys in there DM'd me and he's like, "Hey, I'm about to make an offer on this guy who wants to retire his business. It's an electrician business." And Andy is his name. Andy already is a journeyman electrician, so he already understands the craft, the trade, the industry, but he's working a corporate job. And his goal is to build out of his corporate job, but he can't just quit cold. He has a family, so he's got to kind of build his way out. So he's like, well, I could use my retirement for a down payment on this business and negotiate some terms and take over this electrician's business, let the guy retire. And we talked about, like, how do you negotiate this thing? It was awesome to be able to just keep going, like, well, here's the frame of how you do kind of an owner financed transaction. Here's some of the reasonable options. But any of the more detailed information you need to confidently move forward, you can just use freaking Chat GPT if you know what question you're actually asking.
Yeah.
So we use Chat GPT for a couple things. One of them was the like, how do we actually save labor? So this guy sent us the P&L of the business. We were reviewing that, and how can I, get more margin from his existing job flow? Well, if your electricians are out there spending time doing calculations and measurements that they could just ask ChatGPT, it was like, how do I do the wattage? So the wattage is this, the voltage is this. There's at least a 30-foot run is needed. What gauge wire do I need? And what do I need on my my electrical box for this use case? And ChatGPT just boom, 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 boom. It like started doing calculus, and it's going, use aluminum wire for this. Make sure you use more shielding if in this case, if it's running by, and then he was like, could it tell me what section of I don't remember what the acronym is, but the government code book this is coming from? We just asked it, what section of the CCE or whatever it is. And it just gave him, 106-C, part A, and here's the exact thing. So now they're compliant, they're efficient. So the question is, if this is saving you so much time on a job, what do you have to do to capture that in margin? You can't be selling billable hours anymore. You have to do pricing per job, and you need to keep the upside of the time savings, because the market's already willing to pay you, this, whatever it is, $500 for this job. So don't save half your time and just do it for $250. So that's one of the things that he's doing. If he can buy this business, he would just train his electricians to use this tool to like cut their time.
How's he looking at buying it? Is it a multiple of revenue, or is it a multiple of profit, or?
It's both. So that was a big debate. So multiple 3x multiple of profit is ideal. But in this business, you've got the owners, you call it seller's discretionary earnings, is the combined total of not only the profit, but also like, is the company paying for his truck? Did the company send him and his family to Disneyland? Did the company pay for his gas? Because those are all benefits that would transfer to the buyer. So profit might actually be low on a small business, but actually the benefit to the owner might be high. And so you have to kind of buy it as a multiple of that. So that's typically where they would land. It's also an incredibly hard business to sell. So the guy retiring,
he's willing to play ball with anything. Yeah.
He can't sell it to private equity. It's not just going to passively profit.
No. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Bro.
Good talk.
We gave those were good. Actually, so looking back, I'm really happy with all those business ideas that we came up with last year. We came up with legitimately hundreds.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. Hundreds. That's amazing.
Could we just have all the transcripts like put in some database and have ChatGPT summarize it and give us all the ideas back?
Yeah, we can. That's definitely something we can do. Yeah, we could do that, actually.
That'd be sick.
Sure, we could do that. We should get an admin to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I just want to have them all there, and like, I don't know. In a perfect world, you just click the idea and it takes you to the spot on YouTube where that exists.
That's coming, my friend. That is coming. I know that's coming. You can build that out, but that is a difficult thing to build out these days. Anyways, hey, thank you for the conversation. Guys, if you listen to this and you liked any of the ideas, the only thing we ask is that you start the damn business, because we're too busy doing our own things. So we want to see these things come to life. And that's it. That's all I ask.
I ask that you seriously consider joining the other entrepreneurs in the community. Join us. Good. Come join us. Come play. Come meet other people who are building shit and not just wasting their time. So, yep. Follow us on all the social stuff.
All the things. Yeah, all that stuff.
I'd rather YouTube grow. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, that's good. YouTube's good. All right. See ya.
See ya, man.